The time has come.
Anyway, the item we picked up is the flute. I forgot to mention that. But unlike the original game, where it was this cool item that teleported you to different places, it would be really useful here. So and it would be really useful in this game if it worked like that. Like you could teleport to places you've already been to, so that way you wouldn't have to do as much backtracking when you get a game over. It doesn't work like that. It's a one-time overworld use item like everything else. So let's go ahead and use it in the one instance we got. I think there's actually like 2 instances or something. But we play the flute and then the monster disappears and we can continue on the path where there's some Lizardfoes throwing rocks at us. Alright then. Blocking these attacks is a bit of a challenge because a lot of the time they come from directly above you. So it's not like you can just block that by crouching or standing up or anything. You gotta kind of angle yourself. Still didn't get it. But yeah, this is pretty much all these enemy encounters amount to, really. Just lizards throwing rocks at you. Alright, there we are. And, hold on, I gotta pull out my map so I can see where all the hidden things are. What is hurting me? What is hurting me? What is hurting me? Oh my, what is hurting me? Help! Help! I'm gonna die! What? You know what? With all the ridiculous stuff that I've dealt with in this game, I'm not surprised. Can we use the life spell again? We can, okay, but just barely. This is why earlier when we tried to use the life spell twice in the boss, it wasn't working. But, it's another bridge screen. What do you expect? These guys are always jumping by, that sort of thing. Lots of water pits that instantly kill you. Now over here, this is where, if you're using a map like me, you can see on the map that there's a dungeon. But it's actually not there when you're playing the game, as you can see. We instead need to go and get some spells to make it appear. So let's go do that. We got some stuff to do with some towns before we can head there. Ow! Cause I'm getting hurt, I'm leaving. What, okay. That is a game over. I do not remember any of this stuff, by the way. I have beaten this game once, I think? I don't remember this at all. Granted, the one time I did beat this was a while ago. It was on the Wii, not the Wii U, the Wii's Virtual Console. So, it's been a bit, but I mean, there's still some things I've not been expecting going on. So, of course, we got a game over, we gotta backtrack all the way there. At the very least, a lot of it does contain this road here, where you don't have to take any enemy encounters, but then there are those things with the traps, like those Lizardfoes throwing those rocks at you. We're gonna have to deal with that every single time we want to go back there. I don't necessarily mind the decision to make you go back to Zelda's Palette, as long as they made the trek back a bit, I guess, less repetitive, because we're always doing the same exact thing. You know, it almost reminds me of The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, a game I've never played, but I have heard of the dungeon in it that you have to go back to several times. But at least there, when you're going back to the dungeon, there are things that are different about it. Here, it is the same screen we're going through again. It's the same three screens we're going to be going through again every single time we want to go over here. I mean, do you remember the time in the original Final Fantasy when you had to go back to Corneria with the Mystic Key? Remember how annoying it was to walk all the way back? No, because you had a boat, so it was quicker. That shows that the game developers thought of that process, that they played the game and said, wait, we don't want to have you walk all the way back because that isn't very fun. Here, it doesn't seem like they were trying to make it fun, it seems like they were trying to pad the game out. I know it seems like I'm talking about this subject a lot in this episode in particular, but keep in mind I'm showing all of this, like normally I'd be like, alright, let's cut to when I get back. Or I would end the gameplay recording session and get back to it off screen. But in this case, all I've done so far in this recording session is that one palace, so I want to do some more stuff of substance, you know. P-Bag, 500. Alright, so we're a quarter of the way to getting our next level up. We're definitely gonna die. Maybe not in this cave, but certainly on the way to the next town, which apparently it's not Kasuto, it's the other town on the map. Because there are 2 towns down here, actually. We have another cave up here. I think this one gets us an extra life, which I actually don't want to take. I'm going to save some of my extra lives for when I get towards the end of the game. Ooh, a fairy! Actually, wait, looking at that cave over there, is that actually... Is that the cave that leads to the town? Hold on, I'm going to look at my map. Yep, that's the cave we want to go into to get to the next town. Here we are, and it might just look like an ordinary forest, but we can hit it with a hammer and then a village emerges from it. Don't question it. But anyway, let's go ahead and head into this town here. This is the hidden town of Kasuto. This is the real Kasuto here. Hello there. You must save Hyrule. Alright, great. Useless dialogue once more. What do you have to say? I don't know. Okay. I was hoping to get a bit more, you know, of an explanation as to why there's suddenly a random hidden town. You deserve my help. Follow me. Alright, cool. I'm glad they just give me the spell in this town, because frankly, I could use it. There is a secret at edge of town. Okay. Again, they gotta fit those text boxes. They couldn't just say there is a secret at the edge of the town. Also, wow, this isn't the spell I get in the town. This is a magic potion. The final one in the game for that. So, alright, we got full magic now. I guess I'll use a life spell, but it won't matter. Because, you know, there's gonna be the people healing me in this town anyway. But yeah, now that we have full magic, we can use a life spell twice and probably another spell. Absolutely nothing in that house. Very nice. What do you have to say? Do you clear up why there's 2 towns? The old man who remains has magic. Well, yeah, the old man always has magic. I could use some help, some clarification as to why there's an evil version of this town. We have a house here. And, what's that? Looks like I can get in the fireplace. Okay, and then we go in the fireplace by hitting up, and this is where the person with the spell is. You know, I would have thought that this kind of person would be, this person would be where the old lady was, but alright. He teaches the spell. It's a weird one. It turns a bunch of enemies into the slimes, or the bits and bots as they're called, but it's also necessary to beating the game as it makes that other palace we didn't see that's on the map. It makes that appear. Now, like the woman said, there is a secret at the edge of the town, and there's this kind of barren area out here, but if we go ahead and use... is it the spell? Yep, if we use a spell, there's this large tower with an incredibly large door.
Now that is a big door.
We go on in, and this is where we can get another special item. This town is just full of rewards, isn't it? This is the key that I think just... it's like the master key from the first game that... I don't even remember if we were... No, we got that. We got the master key. But this just allows us to open a bunch of doors. Very nice. I'm glad we got it. Now we're just going to go ahead and backtrack all the way back to that beach where the missing palace was. We're of course going to activate it to appear there, but there's a couple of other secrets on the map. I know some of you might discourage me for using a map in this Let's Play, and some of you might say, well, you played the first Zelda and you knew where everything was there. How is that any different in this game? Couldn't you just learn where everything is? That is absolutely true, and some of you may know this game way better than you know the original Legend of Zelda, and I props for that, you know. But me personally, I don't know, something about the short weapon, when I'm so used to Castlevania and its big whip you get to use all the time, something just feels off playing this game every time, and, you know, there's decent things about this game. Like I said before starting this marathon, I think in terms of overall quality, this game is the best of any of the bad sequels I'm playing thus far. But over here in this secret palace, I don't know, on this secret place at the beach, we get the final heart piece of the game, so now we are completely decked out. All that's left is getting max levels now, but we aren't going to worry about that just yet. I suppose I should show off what this spell is doing. As you can see, turn all these enemies into these guys, which is actually kind of neat, but it does take away all the experience you would get from beating those enemies normally. So if you're trying to level up still, it's not the best. Okay, so I kind of misremembered something. You actually don't need the spell in order to get to this palace. You just need to stand in the center and use the flute, like so. I had completely misremembered that. Apologies for the misinformation. But, you know, again, I'm not very familiar with this game. I'm sure some of you are just hating me for saying all that.